So what kind of a fisher is that? Alaskan Department of Fish and Game.
We got up some pretty steep switchbacks in a torrential downpour.
It stopped being a hike and started being a climb.
Our version of Wild Alaska, live. These are the voyages of the sailing vessel Pacific Wonder, and we are cruising southeast. Last week, we tired of the tourista nature of Ketchikan and cruised north through the seemingly endless beauty of Ernest Sound and Zimovia Straits to Wrangell, where we were immersed in Tlingit culture. From there, we slept under the midnight sun in Sumner Straits, traveled the famed Wrangell Narrows, a literal marine highway to Petersburg, and hiked the misty muskegs of Mitkof Island. We're at the Nolan Center Museum in Wrangell. Never let it be said we missed a chance to see a good museum. Wrangell history is deep, with recorded history beginning with the Tlingit accounts of migrations from the Canadian interior through the hole in the ice to the Land of Plenty, the coastal islands during the last ice age. Since then, Wrangell has been under the flags of Russians, the British, and the United States. Several celebrated personalities have made their presence known in Wrangell, including John Muir, who wrote of his adventures there, and Wyatt Earp, who served as temporary marshal there for 10 days while on his way to the gold fields of the Klondike. Chief Shakes is a distinguished Tlingit leadership title passed down through generations of Wrangell Tlingit. We visited the gravesite of Chief Shakes V, Ka Awishte, then proceeded to Chief Shakes Island, where we were greeted by Arthur, the grandson of the last Chief Shakes. The history of this area is well worth a bit of research for anyone interested. Much is available on the internet, but nothing compares to a visit to the longhouse. With a little luck, we were able to attend a ceremonial storytelling and dance. We were greeted by Arthur at Chief Shakes' longhouse. We leave Wrangell, passing Vank and Sokolov Islands, and wade into the raging currents of Sumner Strait. American Lady is steaming towards the cannery with a load of fresh salmon. This is the water today through Sumner Strait. It's very interesting. It's just really strange. Kind of interesting. And the island over here is Zarimbo.
And there's elk on that island. There's an elk herd.
We saw
quite a herd of elk from what we understand.
Yeah, we saw a mount in the Wrangell Museum that came from that island. Pretty interesting. We end the day seeking anchorage in St. John's Harbor and await our departure for Wrangell Narrows under the midnight sun. The next morning, we cross Sumner Strait and enter Wrangell Narrows, the marine highway to Frederick Sound. As we begin up the narrowing channel, we begin to discover off-the-grid homesteads along the banks. The channel narrows drastically, but it is very well marked. Be attentive or be aground. Sitka blacktail are everywhere. I think they're eating the bushes. Slowed down a little bit so that this fishing boat can pass us. But we're looking up the channel and we're looking at all the red and green buoys that we have to go through yet.
Riding the flood up to the hill.
Can't see him, he's behind the island, but he's there. He's gonna try and pass us, and that's just fine. He's got the horsepower to go much, much faster than we are, and we're trying to do it on a time schedule, so.
Yeah, I want to hit the saddle at high slack and ride the ebb out to Petersburg.
He's just going.
Save the fuel.
He's just going.
He's probably got fish to deliver or something, you know?
Yeah.
There's people going against the tide here all the time, but I just might as well use it. Huh?
Yeah.
You've got nothing else to do except take pictures of this stuff, which is really nice. Stuff.
There he is.
Oh, get him, Billy!
The Narrows is like a highway, from one spot to another. Get in your boat and go. Marker by marker, deer by deer, up the narrows we grind. Big wide swing and going up the channel this way. We're seeing more and more houses, and the channel's full of people fishing and crab pods. Passing marker number 25. That's where we're headed. So what kind of a fisher is that? Alaskan Department of Fish and Game. Yeah.
Department of Fish and Game.
Sport fishing lodges are great hangouts for America's bird. Bald eagles abound. Petersburg, like most of coastal Alaska, is located on an island. Everything comes in or out by ship or plane. Everything. Towboats with loads rule the Narrows. Boat graveyards, lots of them everywhere. Fishermen's backyards are obvious. Follow the markers or pay the toll. Petersburg. Boats and ships everywhere. Some famous, some not so much. Every kind of fishing boat you can dream of. Glacier research boat. Fishing boats coming, fishing boats going, day and night.
This is just to give everybody a little idea of what we go through here for the tide changes here in Petersburg. We're, well, what's today? Today's the day of the eclipse, so it's August 21st, 2017, and we're at probably about max flow here between low and high tides. And we're in the slip. We're in our slip here in Petersburg Harbor. And this is the way the tide flows in here. It looks like it's changing right now.
This massive sea lion ruled the marina, catching and eating salmon at every turn of the tide. Sandy Beach Park was a short 2-mile rainy hike from the boat and home of the petroglyphs on the beach.
So, yesterday was Friday. I don't even know the date, the 28th of July. We went and got rain gear so that we could go off the boat once in a while. So this morning we decided to try the Raven's Nest Trail. And to get there we had to walk over the hill to Sandy Beach, and because that's where the trailhead is.
And that's what? Mile and a half, 2 miles? Something like that.
2 miles, 3 miles? I don't
Yeah,
know.
2 miles.
Something like that. And so we thought we'd bring the camera and the binoculars and we'd be able to see all kinds of wildlife.
And we got stealth.
We got stealth, right? We're all decked out in our stealth. I pick up a load of kids with 2 dogs just parked and went up the trailhead.
And hurried to try and get there ahead of us. Oh, why is this our luck? Huh?
Anyways, so, Petersburg has done a really good job of maintaining their trails and advertising their trails. So,
And the Tongass National Forest.
yeah, and so, hey, people know where it is, it's easy to find, and they're using it. So, we're going to sit here for a minute or two and then head on up the trail after
Our
them.
version of Wild Alaska, live.
I think I better back up. So I'm trying to focus this, and it's always an interesting challenge. So where are we?
We're up on a hill outside of Petersburg. In the background is Frederick Sound. I don't know, Carrie thinks we got about halfway up to the Raven's Nest, which was a 4.5-mile hike.
No, 4.5 miles from the park, and we hiked 2 miles to get to the park.
Well, yeah. From the boat to the park to the trailhead was 2 miles.
And then it was,
we did 2 miles
we did about 2.5 miles up towards the lookout.
towards the, yeah.
We got up some pretty steep switchbacks in a
It
torrential
stopped
downpour.
It stopped stopped being a hike and started being a climb
Well, it was a climb for quite a while before we
Yeah.
quit.
before we quit. We saw a couple of people coming back down, and they were saying, yeah, it's kind of fogged in with the clouds and it's pouring down rain, and we're looking at how we're doing at that point and assessing whether we want to go on. And we decided to come back down. Oh, I hear an eagle.
Yeah.
Easy. He's up above us somewhere.
Well, so we came back down and we're stopped here and ate lunch, and we're watching this little
Little doe.
little
over
doe
here.
Sitka blacktail deer.
Anyways, so we've had our lunch, we've rested up, and
We've been drenched.
we've been drenched.
Yeah, that was raining a good inch an hour there for about 3 hours.
Everything in my backpack is soaking wet. Thank God I put my phone in a plastic bag and the camera in a plastic bag. Yeah, so we're gonna hike back to town.
Yeah, so I'm sure you can't see them with this camera, but
There's icebergs.
there's some
Or
icebergs
pieces.
that are coming out of LeConte, off of the LeConte Glacier, right out there. Just to the right of the center here is that little doe laying there. You can't see her, but I can see her with my naked eyes, her head sticking up. And there's some icebergs there, LeConte Glacier. And this little muskeg meadow here. And then out this way across Frederick Sound, we get out that way, then you can see the Sockeye Islands. And it's not spelled Sockeye, but it's pronounced Sockeye. It's spelled S-U-K-O-Y, but it's pronounced Sockeye. So, and then way off in the annals of the rain over there is Admiralty Island. Be heading that way in a day or two. And avoid some of these. You can see quite a few icebergs out here.
Yeah.
And they're not little ones either. There's, you know,
You can see them from here. They got
300-400 feet across, some of them.
Yeah.
So
We might have to swing by and check those out.
we might. I don't want to get too close to them, but we might check those out.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Okay.
that's where we are.
That's what we did.
And we're headed back to the boat now.
Yeah, and it's gonna start raining again.
Yeah, we got about 2 miles more to go. We better get going. Probably be drenched, but I don't know how you can get any wetter.
Join us in our next episode of Cruising Southeast as we explore Frederick Sound, encounter whales and bears, and replenish our galley with fresh Alaskan fish dinners. Click on the icon on the left to subscribe. Click on the icon to the right to see our series, North to Alaska, The Inside Passage.